I want to chat about email inbox zero, what I used to try to do, when and why I abandoned the idea, and what has happened since then. I may even try to throw in a few tips at the end. I'm David McMeekin, an academic living in Perth, and welcome to, or welcome back to my channel. Why is inbox zero a unicorn? I think because they are beautiful, mythical, and they don't exist. The closest thing we have to a unicorn is actually a donkey with a carrot strapped to its head. And in my experience, inbox zero is like that, a unicorn, or a donkey with a carrot strapped to its head. It sounds beautiful, it's mythical, it doesn't exist. I just googled inbox zero and found 429 million hits. There is a lot of talk about it, and if you ask 3 people, you'll get 5 different opinions. The maths simply doesn't add up, and you know what? Nor does inbox zero, or should I say inbox zero as it has evolved to be today. As with many good things like GTD, the more it gets talked about, the more it turns into that whispers game. You know, the game where you whisper something to one person, they whisper to another, and by the time it comes all the way back, it doesn't even sound like the thing it started off to be. And that is what I think inbox zero has become. We've moved away from what Merlin Man, the person who coined the term inbox zero, we tend to worship this thing called inbox zero. An inbox in our email program that is empty. It has nothing in it. And you know what we end up doing? Spending all day, almost every day, trying to get there. Oliver Burkeman, in his book 4,000 Weeks, says he was lured by the time management guru David Allen's concept that it is possible for a person to have an overwhelming number of things to do and still function productively with a clear head and what the martial artists call a mind like water. But what he failed to appreciate was David Allen's deeper implication that there will always be too much to do. Instead, Berkman says he set about trying to get an impossible amount of things done. And I think this is where the problem comes in with inbox zero. The more we reach, the more we try to get to inbox zero, and if we get there, guess what? Something else comes into the inbox and we have to start again. Now, if you're familiar with Merlin Man, you might be saying, David, but, and yes, I know what Merlin Man said, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I've spent about 10 years of my life trying to be an inbox zero person. And you know what? I achieved it once. And I actually posted a photo of my inbox on social media. And I've never been back there since. In the past, I found that as my inbox got more messages, I became more uneasy. There was always someone waiting for a response, someone who needed something for me. And when I wasn't getting to it, I became, uneasy, unrelaxed, stressed. Well, this disturbed me because in the back of my mind, there was always the possibility that there was something outstanding. So relaxation wasn't really occurring. There was an open loop that really needed to be closed, at least in my mind. That dreaded word stress, well, it was starting to creep up on me. The last thing that's really confirmed inbox zero as a myth to me was in January. Unfortunately, I had a heart attack, which meant I've had some time off work and I'm really only working part-time at the moment. So everything's had to be rerouted and people get an email response that says, hey, unfortunately, you're not going to hear from me. The email won't be responded to or answered, and here's the people you need to contact. And guess what? People actually aren't being inundated with emails that were for me. Other people who send the emails are solving the problems themselves. People still manage to get done what they need to get done, and I don't even need to be in the loop. I might go as far to say that when you present people with the opportunity to solve a problem, they can tax their own resources and find a solution to the problems that they had. I'm not saying slack off, don't do your job or anything like that. I'm just saying that the drive for inbox zero may not be what you actually think it is, because there's always going to be more. For many of us, we can afford to not work at inbox zero. There are some jobs where you have to, and I'm aware of that, but the vast majority of us aren't. It's a myth. It's a donkey with a carrot strapped to its head. It's often important to go back to the source when things blow out of proportion. What did the source say? And this is what Merlin Man actually said. It's about how to reclaim your email, your attention, and your life. That's zero. It's not how many messages are in your inbox. It's how much of your own brain is in that inbox, especially when you don't want it to be. Let me encourage you. Striving for inbox zero probably isn't worth it. Striving to get your attention back, that is something that's well worth it. Having your attention for work, not email, for your health, for your enjoyment is significantly better than simply having an email inbox that sits at zero. And as I said, there's a lot less consequences for unanswered email than you really think there are. Anyways, I'm David McMeekin, Kendany eBuck.